All right. Joining us now, National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications at the White House, retired Rear Admiral John Kirby. Thank you for coming back on. If you could explain to us what President Biden's message to the world is as he heads to Israel, but also address, if you could, the challenges ahead as Palestinian citizens might very well be in the line of fire from the Israeli response to the savage attack on Israel.
Thanks, Mika. Appreciate the opportunity to come on this morning. President's looking forward later today to heading over to Israel and then after that to Amman, Jordan. And really there's three things on his agenda. One is making sure that he continues to send a strong signal of support to Israel, obviously, as they continue to defend themselves. And he'll get a briefing from Prime Minister Netanyahu and Israeli officials about how things are going on the ground and where they think things are going in the future. Number two, obviously, is our hostages. And we're going to continue to talk with all our partners in the region about getting those hostages out, all of them, certainly including those Americans that we know are in that hostage population. And then three, to your exact question, the humanitarian assistance situation. We've got to make sure that aid's getting in, food, water, medicine, and that people that need to get out can get out. And Secretary Blinken had a lengthy set of discussions yesterday in Tel Aviv with Israeli officials. We made some progress here. We're hoping that that those gates will open up in the very near future, and some of that very necessary humanitarian assistance will get in. The key, though, Mika, is to make sure that it can sustain itself, that it's not just a one and done, that we can keep that humanitarian assistance flowing.
Is there a possibility of other Arab countries openly helping Palestinian citizens?
Well, we certainly would like to see everybody be welcoming to helping all those Palestinians that are now at great risk and greater risk if they can't get out of Gaza. Those are obviously conversations that we're having. Secretary Blinken had, as he did shuttle diplomacy all across the Middle East. We're certainly hoping that other folks will step up and be willing to help.
Well, good morning. Let's be specific and talk about the Rafah crossing there on the border with Egypt and Gaza and why that hasn't been opened up. Is it because Egypt does not want a million, perhaps, refugees flooding into their country? We know that humanitarian aid has stacked up, ready to be brought in and by the truckload into Gaza, but can't get through. Egyptians say some of the roads have been bombed on the Gaza side by Israel, making passage difficult. What's the truth here? Why isn't that border open?
There's a lot of factors that go into this, Willie. Some of it obviously is concerns that Egypt has about security and people coming across through that gate. They want to make sure that they can protect their population. So, I mean, that's a perfectly understandable concern. Another reason why it's not open is because of Hamas. They're literally setting up roadblocks and refusing to allow people to make any further progress on those roads heading south. So there's a lot of factors here.
So, Admiral, we heard from Hamas, and we, of course, are curious as to whether you believe them, that they might be willing to make some deals for hostages, that they'd be willing to release at least some if field conditions improve, to quote them. Now, I'm not quite sure what that means. But can you talk to us about the level of negotiation, if any, has happened with Hamas? And do we think that this is something that could be pursued?
I want to be real careful here, Jonathan, not to get too far ahead of where we are, and certainly I don't want to talk about anything publicly that could make it harder for us to get these hostages home with their families where they belong. What I can tell you is that we are very actively and energetically involved in discussions and conversations to try to affect that exact outcome, to get those hostages released and back with their families. But I want to be careful that I don't go any further than that. We obviously want to keep all our options open, and we're doing that. I do think that you got to take what Hamas says with a little bit of a grain of salt there. I mean, they should just release these hostages now. So I heard the statement, I saw it, but we're not going to put a whole lot of stock in trade in their public pronouncements when, in fact, they're releasing videos of hostages that they claim they're caring for, actually, repairing the injuries, treating the injuries that they themselves caused. It's reprehensible. They need to be released now. We're working on that very hard.
Retired Rear Admiral John Kirby, thank you. Keep us posted. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for coming on.